Retail. Okay, let's say retail.
So Dhar and Dressire, huh?
Dressire. And if I get it wrong, you can correct me.
Yeah, okay. No, you won't.
So the other time, one person forgot my name, so that was interesting.
Happens. Anything
And
can
I
happen,
forgot
right?
her name, so that was interesting. And both. Okay,
So in
we're going live.
so what
We're
you
going live.
Oh.
1 second. Hey, welcome back, and as usual, I've got wonderful startups coming into this show, and today I've got Ashish Dhar with me. Hi, Ashish.
Hey,
I
how
hope
are
I
you,
got
Vishal?
your second name right.
You have.
Correct? That's
Yes.
good. And he runs a company called Dressire, which is basically helping all your retailers understand your customers better. For more on that, he'll tell you. See, the omni-channel world is a big opportunity, right? In India, retail itself is 650 billion in opportunity, but only about 10% is organized. Out of that, 20 billion is fashion. And fashion, as you know, you guys go to Myntra, but you wouldn't believe it. The online retailers, apart from them, the physical retailers are investing a lot in omni-channel experiences, understanding your psychometry. But you know, it sounds a bit gimmicky when they do it, but these guys are helping them actually understand what it means to target a customer, right?
Yeah.
You want to tell us about Dressire?
Sure. Thanks so much, Vishal. Thanks for
problem.
this opportunity. So Dressire is, it's a machine learning and AI-based personalization platform that provides an enhanced customer experience both online as well as in store, and caters to the retail 2.0 experience. We provide individualized inventory to customers, personalized for each shopper, right? Now, typically, the way it works is when a customer walks into the store, the retailer doesn't know a thing about the customer, who she is, what she wants, what she's there to buy, and what can they, serve her with.
I completely agree. I keep going to stores. Everybody who has an omni-channel strategy out there, it's all broken. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I told you earlier that the blazer purchase helped. They said, okay, we don't have it here. We have it in another store. You pay for it. We'll deliver it home. That was a nice omni-channel strategy that worked. But for the shoes, it didn't work. I told you that. What exactly is omni-channel? Everybody is talking about it today. Let's
Right.
break it down
Yeah.
and then come down to how you're solving it without it
Okay.
being gimmicky.
Yeah. So it's more about personalization, as we see it. But an omni-channel is a part of it. Now, when you talk of omni-channel, you have to see it from the customer's experience, so the customer's point of view. She wouldn't want to be seen as broken. She would want to have the same experience irrespective of the store and irrespective of the device that she accesses your catalog, right? And you should be able to serve her anytime, anywhere, when she wants it, and be able to fulfill her order as well, the way she wants it. That's omni-channel, and it has all of those other, facets to it, like being able to click and collect, and digital first being primary among these, right? Most of the customers would want to experience your store online and then visit it offline.
You know, most of our audience, some of them are also retailers, right? So you tell them that, look, once a customer comes to the store, you cannot engage them with technology there, or are you saying that start before I come into the store?
Right.
What's the
right.
journey like?
So the journey starts, much earlier on in a shopper's, overall path to purchase. What's important is, that we should be present during the origin of perception of a shopper's need.
Yes.
So you understand what she's looking for. Look at her entire purchase, data.
So purchase history is one.
Purchase history is important. The context, the intent of the customer, the persona is also very important.
So then you offer personalization. So by giving her access to the inventory of the store or the entire company or the retail company itself, then I can contextualize it, personalize it for myself, right? That's what you do.
Right. Now imagine you walk into a store and the entire store is personalized for you. You alone. You get to see those items which are, which you really want and you would want to buy them, right? How good a life would that be? On top of that, if you had someone like a Manish Malhotra, assisting you with what you should wear, that would really amp up your style, life would be wonderful.
Sure.
So what we try to do is, rather than you look for clothes, the clothes should come looking for
To you, yes.
Yeah.
So I get onto your platform because you work with retailers. Once I get into the store or when I'm sitting at home, I get an email and then I open that email, start answering a few small questions, and then
yeah.
I get an access to the entire inventory,
Right.
and that's what personalizes everything for
Right.
for me, right?
It's personalized for you in terms of you being able to see items which you want to see, cut through the clutter and fast. So product discovery is faster. Second, you should be able to understand which clothes would fit you well.
So that's amazing. So you're going through my loyalty data. You've
Yeah.
known my past purchases. You know what I'm browsing. So your ability to match the two is higher.
Right.
And
that's
therefore,
one of the things we do.
you can close my engagement faster, better, increase the uptake in the retailer store, right?
Having said that, that's not the only thing we do, and that's not what our algorithms are limited to. We don't just look at and build personalization based on your past purchases, but we also engage you upfront, and our algorithms can provide you one-to-one personalized offers, even if you have zero historical information.
Okay.
So the retailer may know nothing about you, would have no past purchase data about you, but still using our technology, they would be able to provide very accurate personalized offers.
You're almost storytelling here in many ways, right? Your stakeholders are not just investors, accelerators. We'll talk about the Oracle accelerator in a bit, but also the retail companies themselves. So when you meet a typical person, is it the CFO or the CMO or the CEO or the board level person?
It's essentially the CXOs, the CIOs, CMO, and the CEO, COO or CEO.
So typically, how does it work for you? I mean, what's your pitch like to them? Once they call you, do they see a demo, or what do you tell them? How do you get their attention in 30 seconds or 1 minute?
Yeah, so we tell them that we can help you personalize the inventory for every customer that walks in. We help you know the customer, and we can help you serve them well. We can help you with clienteling, and we can also help you with targeted marketing. And you'll be able to organize your inventory at a very hyper local level. You would know what to stock, what to keep where, and what designs to make. So we provide shopper insights as well as design insights, and we also quote numbers based on the work that we are doing with some.
So most of our audience is 18 to 35, and some of them are first-time entrepreneurs. You're saying know your customer or the corporate that you're selling to before you actually go pitch to them, right? You need to be speaking their language, otherwise it doesn't work, right? Because they'll come and then say that, we already do SMS marketing. We already have a website. We have an omni-channel strategy. So what are you going to do? Right?
And that's one of the problems we face, right? Because if you look at the burning platform that retailers may have today, they're still grappling with the problems of yesterday. So what to stock, their inventory issues, overstocking, running out of stock, all of those issues is what they are currently looking at. Talking about customers is confined in a way to just the talk itself. That's a holy grail. Every retailer would want to go there. It's when. But what I feel is it's not about whether this happens or not. But how soon.
And the holy grail is matching the supply chain with the customer intent, right? That's not yet happened.
Yes.
But today they either understand the customer and not his buying habits, but his history. But it's not customized.
Right.
And from the supply chain, they only understand the styles and the trends that are trending, and they just bring them in.
Exactly.
Right.
So you've seen from your own experience, if you bought a white, grey, or a blue shirt, what you get as recommendations are those. That's what you get in your mailers each
Very
time.
true. Very true.
You can't buy the same, more of the same. Right?
So once you've got the attention of these marketing officers or these CXO level people, what is that typical question? They're saying, okay, I've done multiple things. I've spent upwards of $1 million on this Omni-channel. I've not been able to, correlate that to sales. That's the typical question that they ask you.
Right, right. So, the interesting conversations we've had with retailers, is typically if we put the solution in the store, the customer's already there. The customer is ours. So how does the solution help? And, we can talk about the conversions and the improvements to conversions that we've seen through the solution. But I think what's more important to the retailers is, can we get additional customers, additional footfalls to their stores?
It's all about footfalls, obviously.
Yes.
So, but then if they can ask you questions like, look, I've got all this. Anyway, there's a clientele that's coming in. I'm doing well. I'm $1 billion in revenues. Should I worry about it?
Why not? If you look at the way Amazon has been eating your breakfast, it's important that you have a good, strong digital proposition. It's important, that you be able to serve the customer the way she wants. And personalization, as we know, is a long journey, and we haven't seen much of it, right? Only about 16% of retailers globally have attempted to do something like this, and only about 3% of retailers, and this data is about 2 years back, must have improved slightly, provide any sort of personalization in store. So it's so much more, still of an unsolved and holy grail.
So the holy grail is your customer. At the end of the day, there's nothing else to it, and you're managing a supply chain. But you're doing that. You will match the two. Eventually, you'll have so much data that you can match supply chain and the customer intent.
Exactly. There are three things, So it's all about how fluent you are digitally, how customer centric you are, and then how agile you are with all this information. So how fast you can serve them.
By the way, see, Ashish has built this company for the last 4 years, and along with the co-founder. You have a co-founder, right? You don't have a co-founder, okay. But it takes you a lot of time to build this technology. It's a lot of math. The AI itself's taken you 3 years to perfect because a lot of questions.
Yes.
And sometimes, a lot of our startups out there will probably ask me later on, how did you survive these 3 years, right? How do you keep focus? And how do you keep yourself with the cash flow? Did people support you? Did family support you? I mean, it's a hard journey. A startup life is not glamorous. Here we're talking about fashion, but this is not glamorous at all.
It is not at all glamorous. You can only take heart from the fact that you are building something, and there's a lot of passion that flows. When you think that you can contribute and build something which people can use. So it's a tough journey. And if I were to quote Musk, he says, it's starting up is like eating glass and staring at an abyss. And I truly espouse that. It's that lonelier journey. But what helps is the support that you get from your family members. So without their support, I know it would have been completely impossible.
The first 1 year you worked, then you quit and came in full time. Then you've got pilots going. You did multiple things. You want to talk about some mistakes you made. So it's okay to make mistakes because you always get to iterate. And also give us some insight on how did you manage the cash and survive and keep the team motivated, and how did you keep it going?
Well, so the very first mistake we did was, the excitement of starting up, right? We went ahead and registered our company and then decided, okay, what are the things that we can work on? And we, toyed around with a lot of things. Rather than starting up with just one category in fashion, right? We could have launched our product, gone the lean way. But me being me, I thought let's do it to the hilt of perfection. We launched a survey, had the right statistically, relevant data size, 1,000 plus customer surveys, and then analysis. 1,000-page analysis, right? So all of that could have been avoided, but yes, it did provide us with some insights. We could have moved faster. We could have captured the market with just one category, but what we did was let's build the algorithms for all the categories, not just for women. We went ahead and did this for men, and then we went ahead and build the algorithms for lingerie as well.
Lingerie.
Yeah. So we have a bra fit test. We have a jewelry style advice. We have an outfit advice as well. As to given that lingerie or given that jewelry that you're buying, what clothes you can wear with.
Ashish, very risky to do so many things, right? But you've been in the business 20 plus years. Do savings help?
I've been surviving purely on savings.
Finally, but you've done well. You've got 4 pilots now, and this year you've started generating revenues.
Yes.
Right. The Oracle Accelerator happened. Yes. You got selected. How did that happen?
So that was a quite strenuous process. I know the selection procedure is pretty
robust,
daunting, very robust. We are happy, to be amongst the top 5 startups that they chose to accelerate from Bangalore and among the top 40 across
globally.
Globally, yeah. So that's pretty good. It's encouraging.
That validates your proposition also. What it does is the retailers start taking you seriously.
Exactly.
That you come from Oracle's backyard now, and you can go you can go with Oracle to do things, right?
Yeah. So it helps, because to see someone like Oracle repose their faith in us, and then we are working with their product team as well, and their sales team to take the product to the market, the joint product to the market.
So what are your typical challenges now? Now, yes, you've gone through the idea stage is done, the pilot stage is almost done, you're going to go commercial.
Yeah.
what new challenges would you face? Obviously, scaling up the
It's
product.
scaling up, yeah. Scaling up the infrastructure is key. Accessing markets is key, because now that we have validated our proposition across all of these, be it apparel, be it jewelry, be it lingerie, we need to now capture the market fast. Not just, in India, but also in other markets. So that's going to be of prime importance. Refining the product further is definitely part of the roadmap, where we are trying to do a few things as well. Like, we have our outfit builder. How is it different from others is, we provide multiple lookbooks for any product that you choose, which is again completely personalized for you, for each person, right? Now we are trying to use computer vision to, sort of help you visualize how it would look on you. So that's, all part of the next
step, AR, VR.
And then not really AR, I'm not a very strong
believer in that.
Believer in
that's
that.
more of an engagement tool.
It's but then I somehow believe that's not how shoppers would want to shop. It has to be really simple, as simple as the box that the technology comes in. You've seen.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I'd agree. So the demography of shoppers globally, I mean, are they more tuned to online or the offline side, or is it a blended world?
It's a blended world, and we've seen a market as advanced as US. So even now they have just about 7% of customers who shop online, right? So 93% of shopping still happens offline. It's going to be a blend.
Yeah, I mean, and the marketing challenges being with Oracle reduces your risk, or what happens? Do you do most of the sales yourself, or have you got a sales guy with you?
No, so far, I've been the single sort of face for selling our product, but I'm helped by my partner in France. So we have a presence in Paris, and I also have a friend who helps me with sales, and now the Oracle sales team is really with me, and that feels wonderful. Like,
because you're jointly building something together too.
So we visited a top client, a top retailer, and there were like 4 people from Oracle, right? So it really helps to be able to speaking with.
If you advise our startup community out there, Ashish, what are the few things that you as a founder need to absolutely get right? You spoke in length about the cash management part. What are the things that you have to absolutely be right on? Or at least be frugal on?
It's important to be frugal. The other important thing I have to share is it's important to have a dogged determination. Perseverance helps. There are a lot of people out there, who would negate what you're doing, who would have their ideas. The naysayers of the world would be there. But it's important to believe strongly in what you are doing and know that there's going to be a time right for your solution.
It's a real test, isn't it? I mean, people negate you. You also get into phases where you doubt yourself.
Oh yes, you do.
Right?
You do.
Did you ever go through those
all the
phases?
Time,
right.
Yes, all the time. The lows are really lows. The highs are highs. You go through a mix of this, and then you try to sort of balance it out.
How did you balance it out?
Gymming helps.
Gymming helps.
Yeah. Gymming, yes, it definitely helps. So I go sprinting. I do weights. It really helps. And there's a lesson in gymming as well, right? You can grow only when you fail. So when you do those set of repetitions, or test your limit, and you fail, next time around,
a lot of weightlifters have told me this, that it's as good as meditation many times, right?
Yes.
But then you have to focus.
You can't give up, because you reach a point where you feel you won't be able to do that, but then you do.
So just to give you a simple analogy, Virat Kohli works on these principles, right? I mean, he's a cricketer who's a complete fitness freak, not just fitness freak, but also in terms of strategy. Yeah. And being a startup guy is strategy, right? It's all strategy. So, but how do you handle VCs who you meet maybe, and they say to you that, look, this has been done, Omni-channel is dead, and the media also says, when you raise 100 million, media says you're number one, but then when you're nothing, right, you're saying, why should we even meet you, right?
Exactly. So I haven't met too many investors in the first place, because I always wanted to be self-reliant, and I'm just testing myself and seeing, how much I can push and make the business, run on its own cash flows. Let's see how it goes from here on, because investors also want solid validation. They, if you go to them, they would say, and rightly so, that let's reach, let's say X number of clients and Y sort of revenue situation, and then let's see, let's start discussing that.
Okay, I wanted to ask you a question I asked earlier before the show. You were saying that you're a real AI company. A lot of people come to you with the AI, right, and sometimes you find out that it's not, because the variables that they handle are very few. But you say your AI, because the scope of handling so many different variables is so high that you need to build an AI system.
Right, right. So, it's a mix of advanced analytics, machine learning, and AI that we use. And, like you pointed out, the product genome that we built is different because, we consider hundreds of attributes. So we literally go down to the subatomic level to decipher the product and the interaction that the customer's mind has with the product. And with that kind of information depth, you need.
So you built your own library?
Yes, we have.
You didn't go to any provider for that?
No.
Right?
No.
Which is amazing. There are a couple of audience questions. Shall we take it?
Sure.
Okay,
sure.
this is Akshit, and he says, "Hi Ashish, a brand called M-Tailor claims that your phone's camera is now 20% more accurate in measuring one's body than a personal or a professional tailor. It's more accurate than a professional tailor." He says, okay. What is the future of traditional tailors when it comes to measuring by hand as compared to technology? Maybe he owns a bespoke tailoring company. It's Akshit.
Akshit, that's a very interesting question. If you look at it, customers are pretty much comfortable going to a tailor. They can talk back to the tailor. They can talk about what they want and what they don't want, and they somehow trust the tailor. Given the age-old tradition of visiting a tailor for those specific needs. I think there will be a requirement. In fact, interestingly, since you've pointed this out, we are working with an NGO. We have a separate product, and we are working with an NGO where we are looking towards upskilling tailors and providing a hyper-local kind of personalized service to tier 5, tier 6 cities. And tailors are who we work with.
That's interesting.
So we are equipping them.
So you're saying tailors will not go away because customization will remain.
Yes.
For example, Akshit, I think if you ever got yourself a suit stitched, it's a great thing to look forward to, right? There are a lot of things you know about yourself when you stitch your own material. Your own fit is different, and right. That's what makes a tailor fun.
Yeah. But it's so much personalized for you, right? That every curve, every stitch that you want is tailored to your requirements.
But you have to keep gymming because if you put on weight, that's it. That's another thing. But you're saying technology cannot replace tailors?
Not for the moment.
Not for the moment.
Yeah.
But how about modern technologies? Are they as good to understand fits? And he's got a right question, no?
There are good technologies, and way back in 2012, 2013, there was a good, surge of such technologies using laser, or using even, Microsoft's technology, right? In fact, there were quite a few startups who were using millimeter wave technology to completely assess any body, right? And it would take about 12 seconds to do so. We saw its prevalence in the US. In India, we haven't seen that come here, except for a few players who adopted that. But somehow it hasn't, it's yet to get the mainstream attention.
But as Dressire, you'd know that I like to get my blazer stitched or my pants stitched, because it's handcrafted. But I pay a premium. You can understand and tell your customers that, right? And they can invest in it, right? That can happen.
Exactly. Yeah, of course that can happen. Now, see, other thing with camera technology is that you cannot be doing it wearing your clothes. And how many people are comfortable, wearing just a body hugging, suit to get yourself scanned? It's somewhat uncomfortable unless you're using a millimeter wave technology where you can continue to wear your clothes, and even that has some inaccuracies.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay. But the jury is out there. Maybe in 10 years, technologies will be robust enough.
I'm sure. I'm really excited about that. All of the technologies.
So in the end, we're getting down to because we're getting into custom and fit, right? Will people prefer custom fits versus mass manufactured product?
Custom fits.
Custom fits are the way forward.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
At least the personalized attention is what is important, right?
So that's where your data plays a major role. Okay. Next question is by Harish. He says, how does Dressire help in generating higher transaction and sales? How do you charge retailers is the second question. Is it fixed or do you take part of the transaction?
It's a mix of both, Harish. We have a subscription model and success fee as well. To start with, we can go it with the subscription model. It helps retailers because we not just improve the basket size, but we also improve conversions. In typical work that we've done with retailers across apparel, jewelry, and lingerie, we've seen almost 60 to 80% improvement over conversions, and that's good enough, to engage, retailers.
So transactions will go up if I use
Yes,
Dressire.
yes.
That's the promise.
That's the promise.
So today it's a subscription model,
Yeah.
but later you can get into a transactional kind of model
Correct.
Okay.
Because that would require more deeper integration. Initially when we engage with a client, we want to keep it very integration light with them. So all we need from them is just the product feed, and that to just the images.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can I expect from you guys in the next 10 months or 1 year or 2 years?
Do watch the space for more. We want to capture the entire retail space. We want to be the go-to word for personalization in retail. Be a global name in this field, and we would like to solve every problem that the customer faces in her shopping journey. Across the entire shopper's journey, we would want to be there. We want to solve each and every problem.
So if you guys are working with a QR code in a retail store and get on answering questions, it's probably on their platform, and they'll customize your fit for you and whatever you're going to buy in the future. So you've got a tagline, right, that there'll be 1,000 stores.
Yeah.
Right?
So what we say is, if a retailer has 1 million customers, we create 1 million stores.
And it's personal to you.
Exactly.
On that note, thank you very much, and Ashish,